Hello, hello, hello. Let me just pin this to the top. How is everybody today? Oops. Pin. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little bit. I'm getting messages now. So this is the stitch along pattern. So I'm just going to show you how to pick your fabric, how to put the fabric in the hoop, and then how to transfer the pattern onto the fabric. So just a minute. Grab me iPad. Okay, so this is the 6-inch hoop. That is the sample hoop, but I'm going to use an 8-inch hoop to stitch for my final stitch along pattern. If you have a hoop that's a nice hoop, you'll find that all of the wood will touch when you put it together all the way around. And that will ensure that the fabric will be nice and tight. So you can see there's like no big gaps or anything like that along the way. If you have a hoop that's not so great, you can still save it. So if you can see, there's here, here, here. It's not amazing, yeah? So what you can do if you find a hoop like this is you can take some tape where the hoops don't touch. So first I normally try to put it in a way so that there's minimal, because I really don't want to have to tape the entire thing. You can kind of mark it on here. I might put some here as well. And then you're just going to take the tape and you're just going to wrap it around. You might have to do a couple passes, a couple times, but you're just really filling in the holes of where the hoops don't touch. I know that some people like to take strips of fabric and put them all the way around. So they'll cut a piece of fabric into strips, long strips, and then they'll wrap. You can do that as well if you'd like to do that. I find that a quick fix, especially for something like this where I'm not necessarily going to sell my finished hoop, this works fine. And then you can check if you need to do a little bit more or not, or if it will hold. So that needs quite a bit more to make that gap there. Yeah, because you can still see it. So there's one way that you can fill them in. So I would do that first before you put your fabric in the hoop. Right, so once you get the fabric or the hoop how you want it and you're ready to put your fabric in, you're gonna separate them. And try to get it centered as best as you can. And you're going to screw it. and you're going to tighten it. So you can see where I've tightened it just at the top. You're going to want to tighten it all the way around the entire outside and pull the fabric. And what I like to do, so this is like my body here. I like to put the hoop against my body and then pull. Hello, hello. And you might have to tighten it a little bit more. So I like to do it about halfway and then tighten all the way around, pulling it. And you might have to push the hoop back. Hi to everyone who's joined. I'm doing it as a live video so I can save it to YouTube. So if anyone's wondering why I'm not just doing regular stories. So I've just tightened it again, and then again, pull. And you want it to have a tight drum-like sound when you tap on the fabric. And you don't want any gaps in the fabric either where it's not tight. So I'm just showing on a 9-inch hoop so that you can see what I mean. So when it's all nice and tight, my fingers don't go down. Yeah, so that's good. So you've got that. The next is how to transfer. So yesterday I talked a little bit about the fabrics, and I'm just using the 100% cotton. It's just a white cotton. Yeah, you can also use, like, I think someone called it calico. It's just like an unbleached fabric. Both suitable. You can also use a linen or cotton blend. It's up to you. This is the stitch along from February that I haven't finished. This was my second one. But the weave is a little bit, the weave is a little bit looser. See, I've got gaps in this one here so the weave is a little bit looser, so it will be a little bit easier, but some of your stitches won't be as tight. So it just depends on what kind of look that you're going for. They do look a bit different. So if you've got any questions so far, let me know. You can reply. I will say that if you're not watching this live and you reply to the video, I don't know what you're replying to. So you might have to, like, summarize the question, if you know what I mean. Another good tool is some tweezers. So oftentimes I'll take the tweezers and pull off this blue plastic crap that comes on there. So I know why they put it on there. It's to protect it so it doesn't get scratched. But it's such a pain in the butt to get it all off. So sometimes the tweezers are quite nice. So these are my craft ones, so I don't get used for anything else. So yeah, so if this were my actual hoop, I would take some extra time and get all that blue off the top here. Okay, so there's how to hoop the fabric. I don't know what brand this is. I got this one from Hobbycraft here in the UK, but I know that since then they don't look like this anymore. They look a little bit different. So I'm not quite sure what the brand is. Okay, so I'm going to move on to how to transfer the image and a couple different ways that you can do it. So I've done the exact same thing here. The reason I didn't take it out is because, and do it with this one, is because this one randomly came with an actual, like, nut or bolt on the end. So every time you turn it and twist it, it just comes undone at the top, see? So sometimes they're just connected. So that's actually, like, soldered onto the piece. Whereas this one like completely comes apart. So that one, you can take it off of the hardware. So it's actually one piece is the screw and one piece is this little bolt. So that's why I didn't do it on this one again. It's quite annoying to use the pliers every time. Okay, so a couple different ways to transfer your design. The first one, well, I should say all of them, you need to have a heat erasable pen. So I like the Friction by Pilot. They should really sponsor me by now because I've bought so many of these freaking things. This is what the YouTubers do, like this. But they come in an array of colors, and orange. I think they've got pink as well. They've got lots of different colors. Just depends on what you like. I bought a multi-pack, so that's why I have all of them. But I think I'll just use black for this one. So I'll show a couple different ways, and then you can choose which one best works for you. So the first way is to get an iPad or a computer screen, because the pattern comes to you as a PDF, so you can open it and print it on your computer if you'd like. So you get the pattern up on your computer screen. I'm just looking for it on mine right now. It was all organized on my iPad, and then I started kind of being a bit crazy, putting things wherever I wanted. Yeah, so the first way is to do like this. So get it up on your computer screen or your iPad, and you can resize it to however big, however small you feel. I wouldn't go any smaller than 6 inches, like I said before, because of all of the details in the hoop. And you're going to flip your hoop around the other way. So for me, this is backwards. Some people, they will transfer it like this. They will stitch it like this with the hoop facing up like this way. I don't like to do it like that. I prefer it like this. I find that it's easier to hold underneath. So I often will hold like this when I'm stitching like by myself, when I don't use the hoop stand. It looks like there's a bubble here. I might have to take that off and tape it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over the other way, and you're going to set it over top. You can be a little bit bigger. And then from there, make sure your brightness is all the way up. So my brightness is, I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure you guys know how to do that, but if you swipe from the corner, you can adjust the brightness all the way up. And then from here, you just trace everything that you can see. Yeah? The only thing that I don't like about this is that you then have to take the fabric out of the hoop, flip it over, and then rehoop it this way. So for something that's quite detailed, or something that maybe, you know, like a pet portrait or something like that, I will definitely do it this way because I don't want to lose any of those details. So that's one way. If you've got questions, then leave them. I know I'm going kind of fast, but Jessie's at her vet appointment, so just making sure I get it all done without her and David here. Okay, so the other way is to print out your pattern. It obviously just comes in a sheet like this. Yeah, on a piece of paper. So you cut it out. I like to cut it a little bit smaller because I'm going to put it underneath here like this. So this is the other way. And I'm just going to make sure that the house here is parallel to here so that it doesn't look a little bit wonky or anything like that. So yeah, you can tape it on the inside if you want to. You can use blue tack, which I've done before, and you stick it just in the corners. But I'm just lazy, so I'm just going to use my fingers like this and push up. So right, I'm going to get tracing. And all you're going to do is push your fingers up like that in the area that you want to trace. and trace it. I think this pen is almost out of ink, actually. Probably because I use it all of the time. Okay, I'm gonna switch to blue. And don't worry about getting it exact. You can go back and change some things afterwards or when you're stitching. And actually, this is an old copy because I didn't include those 2 leaves. So someone's just said, does the pen not show through enough to just flip the image? I guess you could if you wanted to. You can see it a little bit. But again, this is just my preference because I'm too lazy to rehoop the fabric the other way. So it does look a little bit fussy, but I think someone asked me once what's like my most favorite part of embroidery and what's like my least favorite part. And my least favorite part is definitely putting the hoop or putting the fabric in the hoop. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know. It's just not my favorite part. Okay, right. So I'm not going to do all of it because I feel like it's just going to take a long time. And you guys probably don't want to see me just trace a bunch of videos or a bunch of flowers and stuff. But yeah. Dawn's just said, what size is the hoop? So you can choose whatever size you want. In the pattern, I think there's 6-inch and 8-inch. Maybe 7-inch as well. I can't remember if I included that or not. But you can choose which one that you'd like. This is an 8-inch hoop. This is the 6-inch. And then earlier in the video, if you want to go back and watch me put the fabric in the hoop, this is the 9-inch. So it just depends on which one you like. So there's that. And then here's the 6-inch one on top of it. So you have 6, 8, and 9. I would not recommend going smaller than 6 because of the details. So like I said, yesterday I did have some trouble getting my needle through here because I didn't want to use a smaller needle. Too lazy to go down a size with my needles and just change it. So I decided to just push through. But definitely 6 inches, I would say, is the smallest. But I'm going to use the 8-inch for mine. I feel like it's a good size for showing all the different stitches. And I will tell you, if you use a smaller hoop, then you might have to use less strands. So just keep that in mind as well. But again, I'll tell you as I'm stitching, which size strands to use, bigger, smaller, etc. So yeah, there we go. Have we got any other questions? There is one more method to transfer, and it's exactly the same as the iPad, but you use a window. So you'll cut out your design like I've done, tape it to the window, and then you can trace like that. So you don't need like a fancy light box or anything, just use what you have. Yeah. Okay, so I'm half done. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Do the rest on my own. And yeah, I'll be around all day today if anybody needs help with anything, choosing colors, hooping fabric. What else? Someone else said, can I have the exact percentage of fabric, like percentage cotton, percentage polyester, etc., etc. I just use 100% cotton, just white. So any place that you go, they'll have a cotton section, like a quilting cotton section. And yeah, they should all be there. You can choose any color that you want. Yeah, just quite simple, really. So we'll start stitching on Monday. So I've got today to answer questions, Saturday to answer questions, and Sunday for our little final prep. So choosing colors, getting ready, printing your pattern, etc. Okay? Talk with you later. That's it for me. Bye.